And now we hear Walter Müller from Germany. I hope you have also some pictures, Walter. Because you speak about pictures and caricatures of the teaching profession. Yes. Wonderful, I like caricatures.
Fine. So
you also, I hope. Teachers, caricatures? Is it correct?
Caricatures.
Caricatures?
Karikatur.
Excuse me.
So, good morning, everybody. The teaching profession belongs to the most popular themes of caricatures. Their pictures not only reflect the intrinsic problems and of the job, but also focus on typical stereotypes and prejudices, Vorurteile. They show us typical problems of this profession. The aim of my lecture is to present 9 well-known stereotypes as they are depicted in German caricatures from the last 5 centuries. The stereotypes range from portraying teachers as starving, lazy, tyrannic, and ignorant persons to starry-eyed, idealistic, and hypocrites. Up to the mid-20th century, the most prevalent stereotypes of teachers was their poor and financially weak situation. The poor beggar. Here we can see an illustration from 1925 in which the depressing hardship of this occupation is depicted. The undertitle, Give us our daily bread. You see, give us our daily bread. With tearful eyes, the wife of the teacher complains to the vicar about the misery in the family. We can also see that in the living room, this room, children and dogs are raised, pupils educated as well as punished, and clothes are patched by the schoolmaster. You know, they had a known profession. Another example would be a lithography from Düsseldorfer Monatshefte from 1853, in which a teacher complains to the school inspector about his small salary. This widespread and frequently favored realistic picture, it's not only a caricature, it's also it has a realistic background, you know, of the poor beggar faded over the last decades. It was replaced by the stereotype of a well-paid, lazy civil servant with the right to a pension. It was replaced by the stereotype of a nice half-time job with sheer endless holidays. A lazy bone. The undertitle to this picture, and in the meantime I also have to work. And in the meantime I also have to mark all these essays. How in the world am I supposed to accomplish that between all the holiday prospectus? If only there would not be these horrible pauses in between the holidays. Apparently all the teachers are mourning all the day long. How fun is it to be a teacher? The teacher is held by the pupil in a hammock, in a hängematte. The next stereotype the bureaucratic state executor. A caricature taken from the well-known satire magazine Symposium from 1911 with the subtitle Progress in the School System. Progress in the School System. The teacher is looked at as a representative and willing executor of the Prussian authoritarian state. Here we have a latest example, a deputation of teachers while handing over a petition letter. The teachers are portrayed as moral cowards without any courage. It is especially the teacher trainees which those negative virtues are assigned to. Also die Lehramtsanwärter. So the title, the undertitle, and this is the spine, this one, is the spine of a teacher trainee after his treatment with our terms of employment. The undertitle says, before, after. Very good. In such bureaucratic teachers, the consideration of pupils are at best embarrassing incidents. Here the pupil. Could you please explain me how this child is coming into this book? Because normally it is common that there is a lifetime of labeling. Pressure from up to down. That's the pupil. The fourth stereotype, oh no, that's another wonderful example of labeling with the marks, you know, that's 6, the worst mark in Germany. The school tyrant. This is one of the most common teacher stereotypes. Until the mid-20th century, the intrinsic picture of a sadistic tormentor and torturer prevailed. We can see a caricature from the mid-19th century with a subtitle, "Let's see if I can get some affection out of these damned boys." The twig, the root of the twig has been the status symbol and token for the teacher forever. Sub virga vigere, to live by the twig, is the Latin expression in medieval times for going to school. Sub virga vigere. Right here we have a miniature from the Heidelberger Vida handschrift, originating from the 14th century. It is called der Schulmeister von Esslingen. Here the status symbol, die Rute. This particular copper engraving from the 18th century shows common methods of torture, like wearing donkey ears, or kneeling on a leg on a log, Holzscheit. In some school museums, you can try to do this. It's very, very hurting. The teacher says, go ahead and ridicule him. From the beginning of the 19th century, the psychological torture methods of teachers are reviewed quite critically. there had been a flood of novels dealing with tragic school careers in which the teachers are portrayed as tyrannic, brutal, and perverse persons. A quite fitting caricature of this school tyrannic is to be found in the Ware Jakob from 1923, Der Schultyrann. Bertolt Brecht characterized this type of teacher in his Flüchtlingsgespräche as follows, I quote, grand and major, the unforgettable figure of the personified inhuman stands opposite to the young human being in school. Within the literature, notion of the teacher around the beginning of the 20th century, almost all following negative attributes are summarized. Ugliness, financial and domestic problems, occupational resentment, evilness, sadism, apathy against the school subjects. Nowadays, this kind of notion does not prevail anymore. Thus, the following examples will show that they are not gone for good. The godlike type, der gottähnliche Typ. By Marie Marx, this type was characterized a bit more friendly. No, that's another example. We are learning for you, and that was cool. The cover picture of the famous children's book Häschenschule leaves no doubt that the teacher has undisputed authority. The next stereotype can be regarded as an antipole of the school tyrant, the weakling and scared cat. This type also has been wandering through school history for a couple of centuries. His attributes, weak, unfit for life, infantile, unworthy, unconfident. In advance of every lesson, just a moment. In advance of every lesson, he sends a prayer up to the heavens. This picture shows Schulmeister Nöten, 1884. A current version of this type of teacher, finally a depiction of a female teacher, the first female teacher, can be seen in Joachim Hickel's caricature, The Fleeing Student Teacher. It displays the pupils as blood-sucking vampires from which the teacher has no other option than to flee in fear. Another possibility would be to guard himself with barbed wire. Now the sixth stereotype, the know-all, the besserwisser. More than often an analogy is drawn between the teacher and God. God is all-knowing, but teachers know everything better. This moment gives a hint to this other typical déformation professionnelle, the permanent know-it-all behavior and dogmatism of teachers. This distorted picture of the teaching profession, in which for sure it is a grain of truth, is not entirely new. A perfect example was given in Simplicissimus. No, this Simplicissimus. I gave Cicero bad mark in Latin. Marie Marx made makes for a current example in which the know-all behavior of teacher is ridiculed on a critical educational platform. The speech bubble says, "You failed in your educational responsibilities. You go stand in the corner." Now, the seventh stereotype, the ignorant. Often the teaching profession is associated with illiterate and uneducated people, people who don't know a lot more than their pupils, who can, does, who cannot, teaches, like an English saying says. The wood carving from the beginning of the 16th century shows how far back this prejudice goes. The teacher as a donkey. In this picture we can see a wood carving from the late 19th century. The idiotic schoolmaster can't find the German colony Cameroon on the map. Now the eighth stereotype, the do-gooder, the Rednerbesserer. Combined with the two previous stereotypes, the teacher often appears as people who are obsessed with making the world a better place. And he would even sacrifice himself for his beliefs. The last type, the hypocrite, the Scheinheilige. As we know from literature, for example, from the novel Professor Unrat by Heinrich Mann, this double standard is especially located to the erotic field. Here, one of many examples from the latest time, the inflatable student teacher, the hypocrite. You know, the teacher comes out from the sex shop, here his pupil, and in the box he has an inflatable student teacher. So, thank you very much.